You're listening to the Weekend Sport Podcast with Jason Pine from News Talk ZB.
Let's go to football. The Oly Whites, our men's under-23 football team, play Fiji in the final of the OFC Men's Olympic Qualifier tonight at North Harbour Stadium, kicking off at 7. The winner of tonight's game will qualify for Paris 2024. Oly Whites coach is All Whites coach Darren Bazeley, who joins us. Thanks for taking the time on match day, Darren, to have a chat. Your tournament was a bit odd at the start, wasn't it? Cut short because the first pool game was supposed to be against Papua New Guinea, but they didn't arrive for the opening game. How much did that affect things across the tournament for you, having one less game?
Well, I mean, it's disappointing to not play the games. I think for us, having more games is a better scenario. But, you know, we have to deal with these things, and the players were great. You know, we just moved on really quickly. You know, we got into some internal games, and so the players got some minutes in their legs. And, yeah, we moved on. It was disappointing potentially for the guys that were going to play, because we'd named the team already, and there were some players making debuts in that game. But, yeah, that's football, and we just move on really quickly and get on to the next thing.
All right, so Wednesday's semi-final, going to jump ahead to that, an 8-0 win over Vanuatu, pretty emphatic. What did you take out of that match?
It was a relatively comfortable game, or it was a comfortable game for us. We managed to get a lot of players on the pitch, and again, I think we had 4 debuts for New Zealand within the game. We scored a lot of goals. We created so many chances in the game, so that was really pleasing. But we won't sort of put too much on the result, as in this is how good we are. You know, we got the job done, and so far the boys have been pretty good with getting jobs done. We know the aim for this tournament is to win the tournament, qualify for the Olympics. That's the only result that we're looking at. That's the only goal we have, is to win this tournament. So, yeah, they get the job done and move on.
Would you have preferred, though, a slightly stiffer challenge ahead of the final tonight?
Well, I mean, yes, but it is what it is. You play what's in front of you, and on the day, you know, we were too strong for Vanuatu. But I think the Fiji game is going to be different. You know, we've already played them, and they were a tough game. You know, they've got some big, strong players. They're organised, and they've got some threats. So, yeah, so we're well aware that this is going to be a completely different game. We're not getting carried away with sort of beating Vanuatu 8-0. But there was a lot of really good stuff within the game that we can carry forward and we can carry on, and we're in a super positive mindset. You know, the boys are confident and they're fit, and we've got some players that, you know, were rested. So, you know, they've not come off the back of a really tough game on Wednesday. So I think we're in a really good place.
You play Fiji tonight, as you say. You've already played them and beaten them 3-1 in pool play. That seems on the face of it anyway a slightly closer game than your semi-final. Does having played them already, Baze, help with your planning for tonight?
Yeah, it does, because I think with these teams, we came into the tournament and there was no previous games. We had no real knowledge of any of the teams. So we didn't know who were the strongest, you know, because of the under-20s 4 years ago being cancelled. These players are the COVID-20s, what we call them, that was cancelled. And obviously there's no previous under-23 games. So we're unaware really of how strong Fiji, Vanuatu, Solomon Islands actually were. So now we've seen them up close, and we've played against them. We have a bit more knowledge, and we understand some of their structures and their strengths and weaknesses as well. So for the players, it's good because they're going into a game not blind. You know, they've felt that before, but they know this is a final. It's going to be tough. You know, they're going to have to fight and win the challenges. But, you know, I think the key for us is just keeping our discipline, keeping our structure, keeping concentrated for 90 minutes and getting this job done.
And you've used a largely home-based or Australasian-based squad for this particular tournament, with a couple of exceptions. But it has, I guess, compelled you to go deeper into your player pool. Have you been happy with what you've found there?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it is. It's a pretty much domestic-based squad. And it's a reward for the players for the work they've done in the national leagues around New Zealand. You know, we've got players here that are playing regularly and playing well regularly for their club teams, you know, in at the high levels of their leagues. So it's great. It's great to put them all together from, you know, the different regions and you know, form this team and go and perform. There are players around the world that would are eligible to come into this. But, this is the squad. We're very happy with the squad we've got, and the boys are ready to go and do this job.
I guess the carrot for many of them as well is that if you do win tonight and qualify for the Olympics, we know that's an under-23 side with 3 overage exceptions. So have some of them, I guess, put themselves front and centre of your thinking if you get the opportunity to pick a side to go to Paris?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a couple of things. One of them, obviously, they're putting themselves in a good position to be reselected for Olympics and for future New Zealand teams. But also they're starting to put themselves in the shop front for professional clubs. They're all at a stage where they want to start their careers going. Some of them are involved in clubs already, like your Finn Sermons and Lucas now. Some of them, they need a springboard. So we put it to them at the start of this tournament that this is an opportunity for them to play international football and try to get into a professional environment somewhere in the world. So, some of them have done really well. But now, I think the biggest thing now will be looking at this final and how they go in this final. If I was a professional club, you'd be looking at them performing tonight.
Absolutely. And just before you go, I know you're only thinking about this game tonight, but of course your All Whites hat will go on again soon for games against Australia in the middle of October, Ireland in the middle of November, and perhaps some others as well. Have you started thinking about what the squads might look like for those particular fixtures?
Yeah, constantly. It's never far from my mind. So, we talk to the players and we watch the players regularly, so I know what they're doing around the world and who's playing and who's in form and who's doing well. So, we're always looking at, what's the next squad. It's got some exciting games coming up, which is great for us.
Fantastic. All the best tonight, Baze, as you look to take the final step towards Paris next year. Wish you all the best.
Cheers, Piney. Top man. Thank you.
Thank you, mate. Darren Bazeley there, All Whites coach and Oly Whites coach. That's the under-23s, 7 o'clock tonight at North Harbour Stadium. They take on Fiji. A win tonight, and New Zealand will be in the men's football at Paris 2024.
For more from Weekend Sport with Jason Pine, listen live to News Talk ZB weekends from midday or follow the podcast on iHeartRadio.